Hey, it's Panzerkunz here, back with some more World of Warplanes, and in this video I want to talk about heavy ADA or air defense aircraft, and those are the bots that fly around in the bases that you need to destroy to get the points. So a lot of times there's heavy fighters, there's light fighters, or there's a mixture of both, and you kind of, depending on the aircraft that you have, they react differently to you. So if you know how they fly in their patterns, and if you have an aircraft with enough speed and firepower, kind of like the BF 109E. I thought it was a good example to show that. You can take out the heavy fighters pretty quickly, and it's always best to start from the top bottom. And I'm going to try to make a graphic to show each sector and to show all the ADA that they have, and then kind of the little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way to try to take out those annoying ADA aircraft as quickly as possible and most efficiently, so you can capture more bases and do it quicker and then just become a better player. So let's do that. All right, so here we are at the cheap little graphic that I made, and I want to go over each sector and each ADA that they have, and then how many capture points you need. So white means when it's neutral, and red means when it's captured by the enemy. So the garrisons always have 2 heavies and 2 light fighter ADA. So you only need to kill 3 of them. Just kill 3 and move on. Yeah, it's pretty easy. An airstrip, or as I call it, an air base, it's the same thing, except that they have 6 light fighter ADAs. So it's a little tougher if you're a heavy fighter. You're going to need to make a lot of swooping passes. So it's a little bit easier for light fighters and multi-rolls to capture this, but it's still going to need 120. So just kill 3. It's not that bad. Military base, the bigger sectors that have special abilities, they all have 140 neutral and 180 when it's captured. So they're a lot harder to get. But with this one, that one that shoots rockets, it only has 2 heavies. So even if you kill those, that's only 80 capture points. You still need 100 if the enemy has it. So you won't be able to do that much in a light fighter there. And then going to the air base, which is officially called, but I always call it the airfield because it's bigger, where you can repair your aircraft. This is probably the hardest one to get, uh, strictly dealing with ADA, because you have 2 heavies and 4 light fighters. So you have 6 aircraft that are always killing your bots. So even though you can kill, and just to capture it, you need to kill 5 of them, 5 of the 6. That's the most out of all of these. So it's pretty tough to get this, especially if the enemies have turn fighters camping in there. So I try to avoid this until like I really need to get in there. But yeah, it's not easy. But if you're fast, at least you can take out some heavy fighters. The mining plant, it only has ground targets, no ADA. So unless you're a really advanced player, you know which ground targets are to hit, or they're on low health, you kind of want to avoid this. Or if there's enemy fighters in there, then go in there. But going in alone, there's no ADA to fight. And lastly, the command center, which really surprised me. There's only 3 light fighters. I could have sworn there was more, but I went into the training room a few times and I only saw 3. So that's was surprising to me, and it makes sense because sometimes these can be a little hard to get, because even if you kill the 3 light fighters, you're still short either way. You have 120, you're still 20 points short here, and if the enemies have it, you're still 60 capture points short. So you definitely need ground targets for the command, mining plant, and military. And for these 3 up here, you can definitely get it with strictly aerial targets. So that's kind of the balance. Garrison, airstrip, or airbase or airfield, air targets, and the rest you're gonna need some ground targets. So just remember this. Every battle you go in, you should have this in your mind of what it has, and then you will know which ADA are more valuable to take out. All right, so this is the first trick I want to show you in how to beat ADA. So let's say you're trying to defend your sector here, but then the enemies get it. So that's what just happened. The enemies got this, and there's only 12 seconds left until the ADA respawn, right? And my bots are going to be leaving the area because it's captured and then come back. And if I was to stay in here just flying around, once the enemy ADA respawn, they're automatically going to be vectoring to you. They're automatically going to be all of them are going to be aiming toward you if you're just flying around. But what I found that if you if you're flying straight up, the moment they respawn, they don't recognize you as quickly, and you could easily get on their tail. So that's exactly what I do here. Check it out. 10 seconds. So I'm setting myself up. Right when they respawn, I want to get a little bit lower, and I want to be facing straight up. So let's see the moment. I'm facing straight up. They're gonna respawn, and see how they all respawn at the same time. There's two heavy fighters and the two light fighters, just like I said in the previous slide. But since I'm going straight up, I'm above them. They don't. They can't. You know, their programming is really on the horizontal plane. That's pretty much what they do. They don't do too many vertical movements. But since I'm going straight up, they can't really triangulate where I am yet, and I easily turn on them and turn this right back. Look how easy I can do this. I fly straight up, and the bots are like, well, where do we go? Where do we go? They're lagging behind me, but since I have the speed with the BF-109E, I can climb, and I didn't give any of them a chance to get behind me. And how I mentioned, it always start to go from the top down. So you take out the first two heavy fighters, and then dive on one of the light fighters, and then it's easy as pie. So if you're ever in a sector that what you're trying to defend and the enemies get it, and then also when the enemies get it, all of the bots, they leave the area. So it actually makes it easier for you to get it back. So if you ever see yourself in this situation, fly straight up instead of flying in a circle, and you could easily get the jump on those ADA. And now we'll move into another trick where if there's still enemies lingering in the area, you can just kill them to get your base back to your side. So here's another example. This team just got this this garrison. I have a 0 here, so instead of waiting for them to spawn, let me just wait until the timer clicks to 0 and then kill this 0. Oh, 0 and 0. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reset. Kill him now. Look at that. 60 capture points taken off. Let's see if I can even get this guy. He's still within the range. And just like that, I recaptured it in like, what, 15 seconds. So always look around at what's happening too. That could help you get your sectors back to you very quickly. Alright, so let's see if this is going to be a good example. The game just started. I'm going into a garrison, so I know there's 2 heavies and 2 light fighters. There they are, and you see how the first one comes after you? Skip him and go to the second one. Make a turn. And now you have the second one all to yourself. And by the time you go back to the first one, he's coming around for you again. Make another turn. Go above him. And if you have enough speed in this fighter, they're dead beat. They have no way. They all follow the same pattern. So you always skip the first one, make a looping turn, come around and get the second one, and then do the same exact thing to the first one. So in conclusion, I hope this video gave you some tips and tricks on how to deal with those ADA fighters. And with this little thing here, you could see how many heavies, how many lights are in each sector, how many capture points you need. So it's kind of something you just want to memorize and then apply it to your battles, and I guarantee you'll win more games. So this will be it for this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.